Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the 2022 Alwin British Touring Car Championship. Some experienced British Touring Car Championship. This is round 8, the final round of our 8-round championship, coming to you live from Kent in England, from Brands Hatch Grand Prix Circuit. I'm your commentator, Dennis Mitchell, and I'm not sure if we're going to be joined tonight by Sean Woodgate, but hopefully we will. I have sent him the messages, so hopefully he does join us, but at the moment I'm alone in commentary, so look forward to hopefully having Sean Woodgate join us tonight for the season finale. It's an exciting and close championship as we're about to head into qualifying. So let's have a quick look at our championships. So this is the final round. It was the eighth round of the championship. Just to let everyone know our point system as well. This is our current point system. You can have a look at it at any time. Another thing that isn't on here that should be on here that isn't is you get a point for pole position and you get a point for fastest lap. And the fastest lap point is per race. Our current championship standings coming into this round, we have Jean-Andre de Toy on 204 points, which means he has already won the championship. So we'll be crowning him at the end of the race. Jean-Andre de Dippenaar in second place from Basil van Rijn. Basil, of course, has pulled out of the championship. Andre Besson is not here tonight either, so it looks like Brandon Robert might steal third place in the championship, and Andre Hildebrand could possibly steal fourth place. So we'll see how that all pans out. Of course, just to let you know what cars everyone is driving, in our championship we have two different cars, the front-wheel drive Toyota Corolla and the rear-wheel drive Infiniti Q50. Alright, it looks like qualifying is about to start, so let's head live to qualifying. Hopefully this transition works as it's meant to. At the moment it doesn't seem like I've done it correctly. For some reason I have a video playing that shouldn't be playing. Apologies for that. Alright, we are now live in qualifying. I wasn't too sure if we were going to be streaming tonight with everything happening, but as it turns out we are. So it's good to be finally wrapping up the championship. Some of our drivers aren't here that maybe were expecting to have load shedding because we had load shedding earlier today and then it suddenly all got turned off. So we have power tonight. When I say turned off, I say the load shedding was turned off, not the power. So we are live for racing. So hopefully we have sound and everything is working correctly now. Apologies if the sound hasn't been working. Hopefully the sound is now working correctly. If everyone on the YouTube channel can just let me know if we do have sound. But at the moment, good evening to everyone on the YouTube channel. Good evening to Janice Roberts saying good luck to Brandon. And Caroline Yost saying good luck. Oh, sorry, good evening everyone. Alright, so hopefully everything goes nice from here on. We can have an exciting qualifying. Times in practice have been extremely fast. Jean-Andre de Toy did a 1:28. Jean-Andre Dippenaar was not far off him. It was a 1:28.9. Jean-Andre Dippenaar was on a 29.1. So extremely close times. That's the drivers now heading out. For some reason I don't have audio like I should, so I'm a little bit odd not being able to hear things here. But hopefully everyone else can hear everything clearly. If not, then just please let me know if there's any issues. I'm going to just keep checking in to see if we have anyone joining us. Right, I guess I should do some camera control as well. So at the moment we have Brandon, at the moment one of the few drivers on track, the fastest first sector. So we're going to stick with him for now. Sector now. Right, coming up to Dignaldale, which is my favourite corner on the track. Drop down the hill, you have a nice tight right, and then you get Dignaldale, which used to be a double apex, is now a single corner. Not quite as challenging anymore. Still a fun corner there. fastest middle sector, but he's actually, in the times that I have, he's been beaten by his teammates in sector 2, but not in sector 1. So Oulton Nixon has just gone fastest on a 1:29.7. Let's see if Brandon can pip him. It's going to be close, and he does. So we have Team ECG 1-2 at the moment, 29.6 from a 29.7. We're sponsored by Top Tech IT, who will be their title sponsor from the following championships. So currently we have Tian Murray, so it's a Team ECG 1-2-3 at the moment. Okay, Jean-Andre de Toy has now come to the party at 29.1. He's decided, nope, he definitely wants to be a part of this. You see him going off there. Brandon, I guess. Let's have a look at some of the other drivers at the moment. So we have Andre Hildebrand currently sitting in 6th place. Fantastic Team Gunston livery. Of course, we missed Bjorn Buchner. He was a fantastic driver. That was the colours he was famous for. Unfortunately, we've just had a message that one of our drivers can't make it. He was hoping to make it, but unfortunately weather is playing a part. So, sorry to hear that Stan won't be able to make it tonight. He's been trying his hardest to get in, but hopefully we'll see you at the next round, which will be the BMW Cup. Right, as we're watching Andre through the middle sector, slightly down on his time. Let's find someone that is hopefully starting a lap. Right, so Julian is just heading out of the pits now. I'm going to go on board with Julian just so that we can get an idea of what the lap is like. It's turn 2 at the moment. A lot of the runoff on the right is actually bricks on the right hand side there. You don't often realise that. Just taking it easy, so perhaps we shouldn't be watching him. So let's head to someone that hopefully isn't taking it easy. Let's go on board with Chris Collison, who is joining us again tonight. Good to have Chris back with us. Right, so he's in sector 1. Let's perhaps do a on board with Chris. Is that Kian in front, running slightly wide there, and possibly Willem next to him. I think it's Julian on the right hand side there. Just definitely going to hold Chris up. Oh, yeah. That's unfortunate. Right, Richard about to start a lap, so perhaps we can go on board with Richard. I'm trying to get a full lap to show you guys. It seems we picked the wrong lap. So right, starting a lap, that was an out lap, so it was a good one to jump on board. Once again, don't have my second PC, it seems to be giving issues tonight during the game, so stuck with one PC. Going to join us. Alright, so down the hill, we're laughing at them blank on their corner names. I actually do know this track quite well and their corner names. Martin Bingeldauer, I'm blank. The other one, so Richard has unfortunately gone off. Right, so perhaps we can go to Jean-Andre is in the pits. Let's go back to Tian then. Although Jean-Andre was heading out to the pits, it's going to be an out lap, so let's see who else we can find. Perhaps we can find one of the other drivers who's... So we see Tian crossing the line in a moment, then we'll jump to one of the other drivers who has been very competitive of late, but isn't doing so well on this track. And that's Timo Smit. Of course, last round at Croft almost took the win. And unfortunately I got the interviews all wrong and I didn't include him in the interviews. He was actually second overall for the meeting, so apologies to Timo. We will have to speak to him this evening. But I did interview Julian, and Julian was actually fourth overall, so apologies, I got the two of them mixed up. I was looking at the results of only the one race, not the combined races. But let's see if Timo is going to put in a time that puts him near the front. At the moment, he's probably looking on for 5th or 6th place, which would still put him the fastest Infinity. A little bit of luck up there. Probably going for 6th place. Let's see. And he does. He takes 6th place, 9/10 off. That is his best time so far. So he's starting to find some pace. The track does come to you with a bit of rhythm. In practice, you start to get your rhythm, the flow of it, and you definitely start to improve. Let's also have a look at one of the other drivers in the Infinity, Willem Steyn, with us again tonight. Don't often see his fantastic colours of his car. It's quite an attractive looking skin with all the graphics on it. Willem, of course, is a big anime fan, so he has anime characters on his car. I forget the names of this one. You can tell me. I'm not familiar with anime. I used to know some of the manga stuff, but I don't know anime much. Alright, heading into the final turn. Also quite a tricky turn, where it sort of drops slightly and turns and goes up the hill. Be careful not to hit the runoff there, because you will end up in the barrier if you hit it, because it keeps turning and keeps turning. Well, he's improved up to 10th place at least, getting a nice drift on there. Let's have a look at one of our younger drivers. Let's go have a look at Kian, who has unfortunately spun it, so bad timing to look at Kian. Right, let's have a look at Julian. Perhaps Julian is now on for a better lap. Let's see his personal best in Sector 1, although he's quite far down. He did do a fairly decent time in the practice, I think a 1:30.0. So that would put him, where would that put him now? That would put him probably in 6th place, where Timo is at the moment. So he definitely has the pace here, but very, very slow at the moment, and 2.7 down, and maybe he's just warming everything up. Let's see if he goes for it now. But of course, he's now got one of the Team EC GT cars right behind him. So they're going to be pushing that. If it's Robert or Oulton, then they're going to be pretty quick. Not sure if they'll use him as a target. It could be Tian. Flashing so quick, I'm trying to see what the number is, but yeah, very difficult. Let's have a look at his first sector. Let's see if he can pop in a good time. Nope, he can't. And I believe it might be... Was it Brandon? No, it wasn't Brandon. That's Brandon's. I guess it was Hilton now. Fastest first sector of everyone. Did of course catch a bit of traffic there. That's Marius van Wyk, and as a result has lost a little bit of time. Let's see if he can still improve though. It was a fantastic first sector. Let's see if he can pop up. Currently in 4th place, 6/10 off the time, and let's see where this is going to put him. Right, on the final turn, drive up the hill, keeps it nice and tight on the exit. Let's see, does he improve? He does, up to 2nd, throw, 3/10 off. I wonder what it could have been if he hadn't caught traffic, so that could have been a really fast time. And it sounds like we have Sean in the house. Good evening, Sean. Right, good evening, Sean. Not sure if Sean can hear me yet. Maybe he hasn't fired up his microphone yet. I better share my stream as well. Right, so Sean will be with us shortly, I'm sure. Busy faffing around here, trying to do things in the background, not realizing the camera had started getting in the pits.
Certainly we do.
Good evening, Sean. How's it going?
It certainly looks as though I can.
I think we're going to do, while you're finding everything there, I think we're going to do a hot lap with, an onboard hot lap with Jason. He's just heading out on his out lap now. Into the middle sector, heading close towards the second, sorry, the final sector. Hi Sean, how's it going?
Let me just kill my streaming audio as well off the YouTube. I just got to find it again.
No problem. So Jason's heading down to the final turn, then we can do a nice onboard lap with Jason. He's just weaving a bit, maybe getting a bit of a gap. Currently in 6th place. Alright, here you go. Right, onboard lap with Jason Underwood, our current champion from the BMWs, which we're heading into season 2 shortly.
Right, I've just got to work out if you can hear me now, Dennis.
We can hear you.
Okay, then I've got to find out where to find your picture again.
Alright, that will be on Discord.
Okay, got to get back to Discord again, voice connected. And then I have to find Dennis, and Dennis is live and watch stream.
Perfect. Right, so currently we're watching Jason Underwood on a hot lap. Personal best in sector 1. Not far off the fastest time, so this could be a good time. We're currently sitting in 7th place, so Timo's taking back 6th place from him. It looks like he's going to improve. There's only 20 odd seconds left of qualifying. Using all the track that he can. Looks like someone's gone off in front of him. Hopefully that doesn't impede him, because they will go outside of the track. Right into Dingledale, my favourite corner of the track. Nice. Could have run a bit wider there, but scrubbed off a bit too much speed. Still on the personal best, but 3 tenths down in the middle sector. Heading down to the final turn. Checkered flag is now up. Let's see where this will pop in. This could put him possibly 3rd. As you see, Chris Collison has just jumped up to 2nd. And that puts him 4th. So great time there. Let's have a look at Richard Sillers as he's now come across the line, so we jumped him a bit too late. Adir Camildian is about to... Oh, he's not about to improve. Sorry, I thought he was about to improve. He's actually not on a better lap. So let's see. I think that is one of the last drivers. I think Harvey Goos is the only driver that hasn't finished his lap, but he's on an out lap, so that's not going to count. So then that would be Brandon Robert is the only driver who's just passed Harvey. It was a 10th up in sector 1. Let's see how this lap unfolds. Currently in 3rd place, 3 tenths down. And on that lap he caught traffic, so he's caught traffic again on this lap. Let's see how, once again, slower middle sector. So not having much luck catching traffic and qualifying in the middle sector. But clearly has the pace. Let's see if he can improve. Maybe he can flip 2nd place from Chris Collison. Right, rounding the final turn.
That's the Clark curve.
Clark curve, that's it, yes. I can't remember.
Just trying to find my way around this track still at the moment.
Alright, well that's qualifying over, so we're going to jump to an ad break quickly, and then we'll be back for race 1. Myself and Sean will be with you shortly.
Until then.
Right, welcome back everyone.
Yeah, certainly a nice circuit, that Brands Hatch GP layout.
For some reason we are hearing game audio or chat sounds that we shouldn't be hearing, so apologies for that. Once again, that's something weird that's happening. But as soon as everything starts, let's just get rid of some of these other things that are standing here in the way. We don't need to be seeing all of that right now. Perhaps I can just let you know that I am your commentator Dennis Mitchell. I'm joined tonight by Sean Woodgate. This is race 1, final round from Brands Hatch Grand Prix Circuit in Kent in England of our 2022 Alwin British Touring Car Championship.
Yeah, certainly a very interesting circuit. Being clockwise, there are mostly right-hand bends and 1 or 2 left-handers, which the drivers have to contend with. So as they're coming towards us now, turning to the right, it'll be the left-hand tyres that will take the most wear throughout this race that they'll be nursing home.
While you're just talking there, I'm just trying to see what's happening with the audio settings. For some reason I'm getting audio, I think, from one of the stream feeds here, so I'm just going to see if there's a way to...
It's because there's so many people on the grid and now you're streaming as well.
Get that sorted, but that's quite odd. We're sharing feeds and yet I'm hearing that sound, but I'm actually not focused on that.
Too much for your machine.
No, certainly it isn't mine. 412, as that goes through, is Brandon Robert. Just to give you some of the cars, the driver names as they pass through. Of course, all the people supporting them will know exactly whose car or which car they're in. So know the car by visual and by colors and everything. So Brandon Robert looks as though he's got a P2 as they go around in the formation lap. Unless they're still shaping up. Car number 9 is Jandre Dippenaar. You have to wait and see, but they seem to be settling. Jandre looks as though he's then in 3rd position in the Toyota. All 3 of the top 3 are Toyotas. You can recognize that with the wing that's on the hatchback, and the car doesn't have a boot. So very few of the Infinities.
That will confuse everyone once we eventually get to the South African Touring Car Championship, because by then we'll have probably 6 cars. We'll have the BMW, which will look similar to the Infinity, but then we'll have the Ford, which looks similar to the Toyota. Plus we'll have several of the other cars, which I just can't think of their names at the moment. So there'll be several front-wheel drive cars, 4 front-wheel drive cars, I think, and 2 rear-wheel drive cars.
At the last 2 corners, just for mention, are Clearways and the Clark Curve before they come up to the grid. And the first corner after they get the lights will be Paddock Hill Bend, Halewood's Hill, then there's a hairpin which is Druids. Then there's a left-hander, more than 90 degrees, which doesn't seem to have a name, leading into Cooper Straight.
Right, as we wait for the drivers to all form up on the grid, perhaps we can just have a quick squiz at what's happening at the back of the grid and make sure that everyone is forming on the grid. You see one of the drivers reversing there, so I'm sure they will be in position shortly.
Yeah, the multiple paint markers, I think, are deceiving, because I think the circuit is made for club racing. They line up 3 abreast rather than 2 abreast.
Right, here we go. Light's about to go. And it's green, we're away.
Right, certainly a good start from the pole man.
Nice start there from
nice punch up for second. I thought that's not. 1:42 is affected there, and that's the man I mentioned was Brandon Robert. Hopefully he gets to get that car back again, but a good qualifying and 3 cars into 1 doesn't go.
No, that's a shame because Brandon had really good pace there, so yeah, that just didn't work.
Yeah.
So Yandre Dippenaar getting a good getaway and managing to survive it. Right behind him we have Jason Underwood, and Timo Smith I believe is right behind him. So the two Infinities are in 3rd and 4th. They've also managed to avoid all the carnage, and they of course come race in. So let's see if they're there at the moment in 3rd and 4th. They could be fighting for a podium shortly.
I think what they've just gone through is Hawthorns, then it'll be Westfield and Dingledell, both of them right and right, and then a little bit of a straight before they go into the Sheen curve again right, and then a 90-degree left will be Sterling's.
So Dingledell is, as we see Timo now going down through Dingledell, that used to be a double apex corner, so right, left, right, which used to be fantastic in the bikes because you can go from one apex to the next apex to the next apex, but basically taking one line, which is the same line they take now. They didn't decide to make it one corner.
Yeah, so and then the last corners are Clearways and Clark Curve, but they're like a continuous sweep as they cross the finish line for the first time.
Right, as we're now on board with Adib. Adib also happening to get a good start, avoid all the incidents. Currently in 6th place, so doing good for High Revolution.
The team running very well. Is Adib still running car number 119?
Yes, he is.
And I've just got the entry list in front of me that I've had from a few weeks back. But then if he stuck to that number, then it's great. Certainly makes commentary easier.
I guess we should be watching the gaps at the moment. So we have a nice Donny Stunner currently jump to Donny, just behind Tion Marais and Hilton Nixon now. I'm not sure if they were involved. I know Brandon was involved, but they were also at the front. So something's happened that slowed them down. Maybe they had to take avoiding action.
More than likely, yeah. Right, so certainly a nice view out of the car number 243. The South African flag in the number. Certainly looks great.
Currently our fastest lap is done by Jean-Louis Latoya, 136.5.
You can hear the tyres squeal as they go into one of the left-handers that there are on this circuit before going back into the sequence of right-handers into the final straight. 135 is Hilton Nickerson. Looks as though he's being passed on the inside. Is that by a teammate?
Yes, it is. Tion Marais' teammate, that's right. And there does indeed take the place.
And into the first of the right.
Runs off as his teammate follows him.
Oh no.
Donny looks like he's going to capitalise. Well, certainly one of them looks like, oh dear.
Oh, there's a nudge. And that certainly when you're so far back and you make contact and the car pivots, there's just no way that you can avoid that.
Right, as you see, Andre Dippenaar currently in 2nd place. Still has his sights on Jean-Louis Latoya. He actually has the fastest lap of 1:29.940 in the previous lap.
To do a Murray Walkerism, catching is one thing and passing is another.
Yes, especially when it's your teammate.
Yes. So very, very good racing. So close. I haven't seen the Jack Daniels car. Maybe I've just missed it. That's Rian van der Westhuizen, car number 69.
Yes, I don't see him at the moment. He was in earlier, but he is in. He's just at the back of the field. I think he had a few connection issues and didn't really get into the flow of things. And he has a DNF at the moment, so I think maybe involved in the incident at the start.
Could be, because I only caught one. I didn't catch the second car that was involved in that.
Well, let's see what's happening.
Going strong.
Let's go see what's happening further down the field. I think the closest battle at the moment is still with Oulton and his teammates. Tion, the two of them that ran off. We have a new fastest lap from Jean-Louis Latoya, 1:29.534.
Jean-Louis Latoya, part of the Boeing Brigade, number 737.
And in the YouTube comments we have Basil van Rijn saying sound is good, saying good evening Dennis, and George Hall saying huge crash. Okay, sorry you're not racing tonight George, but glad you're in the YouTube.
Those of you who don't know, George would be number 31 if he was out on circuit. But yeah, shows that still, even though the guys don't make it to the race, they still have the interest to get onto the YouTube and watch the race happening almost live.
Perhaps we should get the tower up so everyone can know what's happening. Forgot, I didn't even have that clicked up. Sorry, that's why it wasn't showing. You've been talking about that and I didn't realize that's the problem, finger trouble.
But there's so much, by the sounds of it, that you get to do to get the race going that we're appreciative of all your efforts, and we can understand when some things just go amiss. Now, Hilton Nickerson and his teammate now separated by, I'd say, about 6 car lengths. So after that incident, Hilton seemed to have the speed to keep up, but still running, I would say, just by a quick guesstimate, in the top 10. Some car coming past as well.
A nice battle here, the three-way battle between Andre, Julian and Morris. This is for 13th place.
Andre Hildebrand is the Team Gunston colours number 17. And I think the 2 cars fighting for position 8 might be for his advantage. This is Marius in the, what shall I say, the turquoise and pink car, number 77, Marius de Beek. He just has a nice slingshot out, and that's one of the Infinities. So that car's nice and quick when he's got to drive. Oh, then he brakes and bounce upon him right there.
Nice,
takes that position.
Julian, there you are. You saw that one coming?
And
nice,
there comes the Team
Andre
Gunston
right
car
behind
as well.
Yes, yeah.
So, clearways in the clock curve, that continuous sweep, another lap. 20 minutes for the race, I'll take it again.
Yes, 13 minutes left to go.
Right. Now the cars become very light by the looks of it, or the rear-wheel drive cars appear to be very light on certain corners that are downhill on the right rear wheel, because I think they're probably at that stage accelerating already, and you see some smoke coming off that tire, so they need to watch that, and they're using the curbs and then some.
Yeah. Yeah, that exit there's actually where it looks like there's a little sand, there's bricks there, so they can actually drive on that and still be okay. If they go beyond that, onto the grass, then there's no good.
Now, grass is not your friend when you're racing.
So it looks like he managed to still pull out a bit of a gap there on Andre, even though he was getting a bit loose. Right, so Willem Steyn having a good look here at Rudy. Rudy van der Westhuizen in front of him. Some of the cars looking a little bit beaten up, a little bit of dents and things like that in the bodywork.
Willem Steyn in the Docker car as they go through under the bridge there. He's holding on and chasing for dear life. And they go up the hill again to start a very short front straight. Now, the longest straight is the one actually from Surtees down to Hawthorns, going over Hawthorn Hill.
Let's see if he's going to make a move here. He does indeed.
On the brakes, on the inside. I think there was just a slight touch there, but he gives the position back, which is the right thing to do. That was a bit adventurous to try and pass up on the inside at that speed.
Yeah, he might have soiled himself there.
Yeah. So still going strong though, nonetheless.
We do have a couple of close battles further on, which we're going to get to in a moment.
Willem trying very hard to make a pass, also being a gentleman when you realize that the pass wasn't on. There's a nice battle there.
Yes, this is a battle between Adib Gamildian and Richard Cilliers.
Right, Richard racing car number 101 and Adib number 119. It's a nice battle, as you can see here, coming into the front straight. Okay, over the hill, and here's the one that I said drops away, and the inside right tire actually becomes a little bit light, so you'll be leaning very heavily on the left-hand tires over there. So having a look up at the inside, just having the nose chopped off, there's no way Richard's going to allow him through there. So Adib has to wait for another corner.
Yeah, nice driving by the two of them.
I just had one car length, and that's just close enough that you can actually catch a bit of a slipstream. So we'll have to wait and see whether Richard Cilliers is going to be very wary of that and just, what shall we call it, drive a wide line, which he does, drives corner to middle of the road, and makes it very difficult to decide which side Adib wants to pass him if he does. Very neat, using all of the tar and keeping it on the black stuff. That is, of course, where the best grip is. And through the dip they go and up the hill again.
Just trying to find one of the other drivers here. So at the moment, Julian is quite far from the driver in front of him. Just looking at drivers that have multiple camera views for us. Perhaps what we can show you, just for something. Although this battle here is starting to brew quite nicely.
Yeah, as they come into the straightaway again.
Okay,
But
bit of a gap.
yeah, he seems to get out of the last corner, out of the Clark curve quite well, and hold his position down the straight. But then Adib's doing himself a favour by driving. Not sure whether the green is actually Astro or whether it's painted cement, but I should imagine that grip is not so good. And Jason doing himself no favour by driving off the track completely, and it looks as though Jandre de Pinaar gets past or holds position. Car number 9, Jandre de Pinaar, holding on or passing. And let's see if the next car is a long way ahead. I think that dip there is what they call Prim's drop. And then the right-hander there after is Hawthorne. Hawthorne followed by Westfield, Dingledale, and the Sheen Curve. All of them right-handers. You see they go through a dip there. All right-handers. The brake markers indicating them where they are to brake. Another right-hander, which I should imagine a Sheen Curve, except that's not Sheen Curve, that's the gravel. And then the left hand is Sterling's. So all that hard work for naught as Jason gets past again.
Yes. And I don't know if you were watching the YouTube feed there, but while we were on board with him, I was showing the triple cam, so we were seeing his VR view as well as his pedal cam as well as his nose cam of his car. So quite nice seeing all the different inputs he's doing.
I actually had a bit of a blonde moment and put the YouTube cast on without taking the sound off, which then got me so confused that I just killed the YouTube. But I'll get it going between the two races. I'm not going to bother doing so now.
No problem. I'm sure we'll survive.
Yeah, certainly this race has patches of interest, but the cars are quite widely spaced around the whole circuit. So here and there's a bit of a battle, and we've seen a couple of mistakes made, and the passing maneuvers have been more due to mistakes than what they have been due to the craft of the driver. Timo Smith, number 84, the yellow car. He has a lot to look at in front of him and very little to defend. I think behind him is Adib and company. So if I just looked at the car colours, so yeah, 84 is Timo Smith. A long way to go before he actually gets to catch somebody to make a difference. Lighting up that tyre at the rear. I think he was a little bit fast into the corner,
Yes.
and braking doesn't work so well together.
Yeah, you could see the way he was just turning them. The understeer, the wheels was almost 90 degrees to the right.
Yeah,
Right,
onto that tyre.
nice close there from Adib.
Yeah, they're still holding each other busy, are Adib and Richard. So Richard's still here, he's holding on for dear life, but he seems to get a good run out of Clearways and Clark Curve and into the straight. But you can see there they were nose to tail or tail to nose, and immediately out of those two curves there's about 4 car lengths, but then it looks as though Adib is better on turn 1, which is Paddock Hill Bend, and then through that dip again, Halewoods Hill, they go up underneath that bridge, and then the right-hander hairpin is...
I think another thing that's catching him out is they have two different driving styles. Adib seems to be heavier on the brakes, so he's fast in, slow out. It looks like Richard is slow in, fast out, and Adib is getting caught out by that.
Also, just looking at that bit of brick that you were telling us about, it looks as though Adib uses all of that, whereas Richard doesn't. So I'm not sure if that means that Richard gets actually is slow in, but fast out, which Adib is the opposite, as you say, quite rightly so. And now it looks as though Richard's got a nice lead on him.
Right, so let's go look at one of the other close battles on the track. So Timo is still nice and close behind Jandre de Pinaar. Meantime, Jason Underwood is cleared off, so Jandre made a mistake, which we were lucky to see, and he hasn't recovered yet. I thought he might recover and we have a nice battle between himself and Jason, but Jason is now starting to clear off. So this could be the Infinities with its greater tyre, what's the word, but it looks after its tyre management is much better. He's starting to pull away nicely from Yonder. He's got a 3-second gap.
Let's see if this is going to be any difference between the front wheel drive and the rear wheel drive down the front straight and into Paddock Hill Bend. It looks as though the Infinity does catch up a bit through Paddock Hill.
Drive there.
Yeah, certainly has good speed, but then again, he takes it wide, very wide, and then takes the corner and wide again. I think he's trying to position for this left-hander, which they've got here, but and there's a bit of, well, they both, I think, went a bit off. And there again, it looks as though he was using more of the brickwork, as I said the previous time, and that certainly, I think, the advantage of Richard in front of him. And he's using the brickwood and some grass.
Yeah. Thought the grass needed a bit of trimming.
Yeah. Certainly has the track limb. Whoever looks after the circuit has it looking very good. And car number 84 holding on is Timo Smith. I think Timo is actually a little bit closer now, if anything.
Does seem to have the pace at the moment, but making an odd mistake there, just losing a little bit of drive momentum, but he's caught back up.
Yeah, if you bounce up off the curves, the time that those two wheels are in the air, you're unable to use the grip of those two tyres, and you've just got to be that fraction slower just to keep the car going in a straight line or going the way where you want it to go, and that might just cost you of a car length or thereabouts.
While we're waiting for that to unfold, let's transition over to Julian at the moment, who's about to have a nice battle here, and we can maybe just have a look at his other feed as well, so we can see his pedal work and his steering input as he's now battling with
car number 26 that Dennis has switched us to.
That's right, yes, car number 26, Julian Bryce.
So he's holding on. This is turning out to be a very nice battle, and Julian is trying to get past the Team Gunston on the Gunston colours, running the very wide line there, and that would mean Julian just has to get off the gas a little bit, but certainly he's got in alongside, and it's one of those non-stop right hand, and if you say that the Infinity holds onto the tyres better, that might be a position. Security uses the grass again, and that doesn't work well, so Andre gets away from him a little bit again. But later on in the race, but I can't think that there's very much of later on in the race, so I think we've got 3 or 4 minutes to go.
Yes, 2 minutes. 2
Yeah.
minutes and 10 seconds.
So you'll have to make, that would be, in my opinion, the place for the Infinity to make the pass, because it seems to be very good on that continuous right hand. I think there's 3 corners in a row that go right hand, and it seems to have very good speed through that corner. Here again, it's in too fast, I think, and then drifts out of the corner.
Just jumping to this, I saw this, the gap between these two coming down and down and down, so it looks like Timo's about to pounce on Yandre.
Timo number 84, the yellow car on Yandre Dippenaar, I think it is number 9.
That's right.
Down the straight, he'll have to take the outside line. The first corner is right-hander, the next corner is right-hander. Yeah, but there's Janeman, number 9, that's Yandre Dippenaar, trying to keep him on the outside, which is of course the long way round. And if you know pi r squared, in fact pi r round, it's bread r squared, then if you're going the long way around, you have a longer radius to go around, and of course more wear on your tires, all those things that go along with it. And he seems to be making it just work for him, does Yandre, keeping the car behind him at bay. But still very close, very clean racing between the two of them.
50 seconds to go.
Right, just seeing where,
one more.
I think that was, they're going up Hawthorne Hill now, then they'll be starting Hawthorne, Westfield and Dingledale. Not enough place to dip in on the inside there. This is where I thought he'd do it, but he's again driving the middle of the road, does Yandre, and he's allowed to do that. You're just not allowed to weave, but he's taking a very, very defensive line. Maybe he knows that the Infinity behind him has better speed through the right-handers, and that he positions that car right in the middle, which makes passing very, once again, he's got to force him to the outside and try and get past the outside, and then he takes the racing line, and there's just not enough space to get past. There's literally an A4 sheet of paper between the two of them.
Yeah, very close. Amazing.
One more lap, or is this the flag for them?
They're on their final lap.
Okay.
Time
So
has
that
just
might
ended.
be. They got there again, then light up, yeah. That's the one I mentioned earlier, when this corner drops away, the right-hand rear tire gets smoke on it. And that was detrimental to Andre there. And he now has the yellow car in front of him.
Let's see if we can do anything about it. I don't think so. I think Timo's just going to clear off.
Yeah, as I said, I spotted that in commentary during the race, that drop away there is at, I think, Paddock Hill Bend on the way to Halewood's Hill. And the Infinity just seemed to handle that corner a little bit better than what the Toyota did. Well, definitely between these two cars. Andre's not going to be very happy with himself. I think it also allowed the car to drift very wide into Paddock Hill, which means he had the bigger radius to do, and that just made a big change for the position on the track. And I don't think he's got enough to catch him.
Well, let's go have a look at our leader. We haven't seen him at all in the race. He's just gone.
Yeah.
So
the small
he's
Boeing
still
is
there.
Andre Detroit. It's the 77.
Yes. The brigade is only one today. His father's not here with us today. I'm not sure why.
Just so that you know what we're talking about, Mornay Detroit runs number 777, and I gave them the name of the main brigade. Should be the checkered flag.
It is indeed. You see Jason now coming across the line in second. Timo will be coming across in third.
So that's actually a podium pass that he did, which is really, really nice.
Yes. Richard
And
coming
again-
across in fifth.
Sorry, as I said before, again the pass was made on somebody else's mistake, but again you've got to be there to push and pressure to be able to get the driver to make the mistake.
I said Mornay wasn't in the race, but he actually is. He's just further down than I was expecting him to be. So he's actually in ninth place, so my apologies.
The cameraman didn't give him any airtime.
No, he usually he's involved. I see his car is a little bit dinged up, so maybe he's involved in that start, and that's maybe why.
Yeah. A little bit of work for the pit crews to do.
So the driver's slowly coming across the line.
An interesting race nonetheless.
Nice battle to the end here between Julian and Andre.
Yeah, they certainly are giving it everything. And Julian's starting to ahead of Andre. Oh, there's a dive, there's a big bump there. This is... Yeah, Julian's going to get away from him now. It's the last two corners. It's clearways in the clock curve.
Nicely done
And
between
the
the two
flag.
of them. And our final driver on the lead lap is Kian. In fact, there isn't. I think it's Chris on the final lap. Kian comes across the line. Of course, Chris was there at the start and unfortunately has gone off. So we are going to leave it at that and jump to an ad break. We will be back shortly. Just going to go set the server and set the grid, so we will be back as soon as possible.
Righty.
Alright, welcome back everybody. We're
To
back
go
here.
racing already, almost.
Yes. So we are back for race 2 of our 2022 Alwin British Touring Car round 8, coming to you live from Brands Hatch Grand Prix Circuit in Kent in United Kingdom. 20-minute race. I am your commentator Dennis Mitchell, joined once again by Sean Woodgate. So good to have Sean with us again.
Good evening, everybody. Nice to be back.
And just to look at our championship standings from the end of the previous round. Jean-Andre de Toy with a clear lead over Jean-Andre Dippenaar and Basil van Rijn, Andre Besson, Brandon Roberts, Andre Hildebrandt and Richard Cilliers. Just so that you are aware, this is the final round of the championship. This is round 8 of our 8-round championship from Brands Hatch. As the drivers now head off on their formation lap. There's a rolling start for this, so I need to be as quick as possible. And let's go through the starting order. So in first place, Peter Murray. In second place, Marius van Beek. In third place, Chris Collison, who should be strong in this race. In fourth place, Kian. Andre Hildebrandt in fifth, Julian Bryce in sixth, Rudy van der Veste in seventh, and Willem Steyn in eighth. In ninth place, we have Dani Stander. In 10th place, Monet du Toit. 11th place, Tian Murray. 12th place, Hilton Nixon. In 13th place, we will have Adib Kamildian. In 14th place, Richard Cilliers. 15th place, Andre Dippenaar. 16th place, Timo Smit. In 17th place, we have Jason Underwood. In 18th place, Jean-Andre de Toy. 19th place, Rian van der Westhuizen. 20th place, Brandon Roberts. I believe in first place, Stan Bezuidenhout, who's managed to join us. Good to have Stan join us. Now, hopefully the start procedure goes better tonight. Last race we had issues with the start. Driver getting too far ahead of the safety car and it confuses the safety car. So just fingers crossed that doesn't happen this time.
Nice gentle pace by the safety car as well, which keeps everybody holding position. They seem to be bunched up well. Hopefully not too much of a bunch when they get out of the curves to get going. And everybody will stick to the rules and have a clear race.
Right, so Chris is in third, and of course he was one of the faster drivers in race 1. Unfortunately involved in that incident, 3-1, which didn't work. But he is in the prime spot at the moment. We have the guys that finished last in the race at the front, and he's one of the faster guys amongst them, so if he gets away cleanly, he should be on for a good result here.
As we said before, this track predominantly clockwise, so mostly right-hand turns, so a lot of wear on the left-hand tires of these cars.
See the safety car now peeling in.
Green flag, go, go, go!
And away they go. Alright, that's it.
Right.
Away. The race is on, and already we have an incident in the background there.
Right, it's going the wrong way, but clearing everybody's. And just as a point of interest, it's one of the times in a race where you can actually overtake before you get to the finish line or the green flag in the start. If it were to be a restart, then you have to get the green flag before you can actually do a pass. So this is the only time you can actually pass somebody before you get to the green flag. If I have my rules correct.
That's correct.
And I think there were 1 or 2 passes, that's why I mentioned it, that happened before the start line. So you can't take it too leisurely and rely on the start line to arrive, because your competitor is allowed to actually pass you.
Right, so at the moment we have Andre Hildebrandt coming back at Julian there. Oh, nice move there, Andre. Obviously got a good drive there.
Yeah, down that hill, he just got the slipstream and the car positioned well. But then I think he bounces the curves, he might just give it back. The grass is not going to be good for you, Andre.
Now Andre is unfortunately under attack by Rudy, so losing a lot of momentum there. Let's have a look at the front. We have Peter Murray leading once again. He hasn't led in a while. He did lead Knockhill quite nicely. He's got Chris all over him at the moment though. I'm sure Chris is going to make this quick and easy.
It was that double set of right-handers that I did mention that you can use. They're about to start their second lap. The green lights are flashing all over, so they're in the clear. after the bit of a mishap we had on the start. So it would appear that that's been sorted out.
Jump to one of the other action, spots of action happening at the moment. Just waiting to see Chris.
Eyes up inside.
Peter saw him coming, gave him plenty of space there, so that's Chris off on his way. Right, and now we have Julian has just made a pass. Morris has come back at him, so let's see. It looks like Julian's got a tighter line on the power a bit earlier there. He might have it up the inside now. It should be done and dusted, and it looks like it is.
It's that portion of the circuit that has the two left-handers, about the only place where there are two left-handers with extension, and use that very, very effectively.
Right, so Julian is now in search of, or going off to find his newly acquired teammate, Kian. Kian has now joined High Revolution Racing. That's why also he has changed to the Infinity for this round. I guess that's what the team is driving, so he decided to do the same as Kian has now run slightly wide and
Eyes off. Barrier and back again. But he'll be very slow. So I wonder if he's going to give that up. Keeps going. So that might just be an indication of where the car doesn't grip that well. And again, off the brickworks there, they're also onto the gravel again. And it's a very close line of being on the edge or actually going over the edge.
yes.
Finishing lap number 2, I was into the pits.
I'm not sure why that is. Perhaps we can just jump on board with Jean-Andre Dutoy at the moment, coming through the field, currently in 7th place, now taking 6th place as he passes Julian in the pits. I'm not sure why Julian is, maybe he had a penalty from the start or something, but who knows. We'll find out later on, I'm sure.
Probably he's trying to get it done and dusted as early as possible, still to try and give himself a chance to make up a few positions in the remainder of the race.
This shows some drivers are just better suited in certain cars. Jean-Andre started right at the back, he's already in 6th place. He started behind Jean-Andre Dupenard. He's already 2 places ahead of Jean-Andre Dupenard. So yeah, really making easy work of all the other drivers and coming through the field. This shows how much pace he's got, but also the fact that he's got such good racecraft and knows how to pass and keep his momentum up.
Yeah, and it's what you're saying is so right, because you can't just dive in blindly. You must realize that some of the riders ahead of you might be less experienced, and you've got to cater for that. So you've got to really make sure that the guy that you're about to pass is very aware of your intentions and not do a suicide mission up the inside where the guy might still be closing the racing line.
It looks like Mornage Toy is about to attack Marius here.
Up the inside, and it's left-hander, so he's got the racing line. If he stays on the racing line,
Nicely done there.
yeah, he was a bit over the track limit there on the right-hand set of tyres, but just enough to keep him going and take that position.
Jean-Andre Toy also sneaking past there.
Now, once again, we see that right rear tyre light up a little bit as they crest that hill at Paddock Hill Bend. There again, the car seems to be getting very light as they go into the turning right. So, yeah, I think that like a little dog cocking up the leg, it'll be that sort of effect that they've got. Depends how the suspension is set up. I'm sure they've got them as hard as possible to prevent that. But sometimes things just happen that your setup doesn't actually have the ideal net result.
In the background we saw Jean-Andre Dutoy passing Mona Dutoy, so Jean-Andre now up to 4th place. So he'll now start closing in on Kian. Oh, we see Marius and Beck going off in the background, unfortunately. He's likely to lose a place or two from that.
Yeah, the track is, as I say, it's a nice circuit. It is really a really nice circuit, but it is unforgiving in certain places, as there's one of them, because just those 2 wheels off on the left, but this car is now on the outside, 737 Jean-Andre Dutoy, but he'll bide his time. He knows that he's pushing the car behind him, and he's pulling one of his teammates along. That's Mornay Dutoy. So they are really at the car, and up the inside he goes as they go through the Clark curve to finish, and he's just going to hold position, and it might even be for Mornay to slipstream and also go into the lead, take up one position on Paddock Hill Bend. No, it's that right tyre at the back that again I wouldn't say catches him out. I was aware of it, but still takes the inside line, does he? No. Just gets shut in his face, and Infinity is nice and wide as they get through that set of corners, and he's not able to take the position. He'll have to reset and reload. Oh, there it's off now. Maybe this is the time to do it up the inside. Yes, indeed. Made it actually quite easy.
Now he's got Jandre Dippenaar closing in him as well.
Yeah, so Jandre number 9, he's thinking, is this deja vu? In fact, with all these red and white cars passing him, it's like deja vu, because he just gets one settled and then there's the next one, and they've been 3 of them attacking him, and it's non-stop. Whatever he does, they seem to be back at him again.
And if you've got your YouTube feed up now, you should be seeing a triple feed from Jandre as we see him now passing. Does indeed get past?
Yeah. It was made quite easy, actually.
Yeah, Kian doing his best, but he's struggling a bit with tyres locking up, so perhaps he needs to adjust his brake bias. It looks like it's maybe a bit too far rearward. I know default on the Infinity is rearward. I think it's 48.5 rearward, which is quite odd. Usually on a race car you always have it forward, not rearward.
Yeah. Especially if you're leaning the car over, your more of the car weight is going to be on the front wheels. The rear wheels are going to get like the one that's actually on the inside of the curve. So
our leader Chris Collison almost with a 10-second lead at the moment. Just thought I'd quickly show him because we're not likely to see him again until the end.
yeah, he looks as though number 22, he's really made good use of this start and drives off John Wayne into the sunset.
A nice battle here with Stan Bezuidenhout and Brandon Roberts. So Stan, having just jumped into the last minute, not familiar with the track, didn't do the qualifying, and actually having quite a good race at the moment.
As I said to you, between races, the map that I have in front of me, it's, I wouldn't say a very complex circuit, although racing is one thing and reading it off a map is another. I don't think, although your brake, that sort of thing requires racecraft, but getting to know what the next corner is going to do is not difficult. I don't think, as far as racetracks go, this one. I remember Sabina Schmidt said no matter how many times you drive the Nürburgring, some of it still comes as a surprise to you.
On that track I'm not surprised.
Yeah.
Well, I'm not
And
surprised
she
that
was
she
late.
is surprised. If that makes
She
sense.
was one of the greatest at the Nürburgring.
Right,
Right, nice battle, and it's I don't know how much time's left, but potentially these might be passed together pretty soon, depending how their distances between each other close up.
yeah.
And it's going to be very interesting towards the end. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 cars, in fact, as they approach the finish line now.
10 minutes left to go.
Right after the race completed, and there are 5 cars in sight of one another as they get to Paddock Bend. And that's the one that I said there again. It's coming up on the right rear tyre as the car gets a little bit light as it leans over. That tyre, of course, gets raised. Yeah, there's a pass coming from 412, and what a great maneuver that is by Brandon Robert. So he gets up on the inside and just makes the pass look so easy. I think that was on 36 Stan Bezuidenhout.
It was, yes. Oh, 2 of the Infinities in front of him, both running wide.
That part of the track, it's a few of the double left-hander, as it were. And one of them's Oulton, which is Surtees, and looks as though they get caught up on that, getting so used to going right-handed all the time.
Also, just a quick shout out to Alwin. So thank you to Alwin for sponsoring us as always. So if anyone has any automotive glass needs, they can head over to www.alwin.co.za.
Right, and it's nice to have somebody like that on board that does sponsor a series like this, because it doesn't just happen automatically.
Exactly.
Without sponsors like that, then you can't, even though it's sim racing, you still need somebody to assist to make it all happen. And I can imagine that some of these guys have very, very good equipment at home that would make my mouth drool. But my old laptop, too old even to run Steam, so I'd rather just keep quiet and watch the race. Some people can ride fast, others can speak fast.
So Brandon's making his way through the field nicely now. Need to take it a bit slow at first because someone in front has just gone off. I believe that is Willem Steyn.
Rudy from Namibia, number 580. He's an old school Namibian because he's got an SWA next to it. As the South African number 412, Brandon Roberts. Chasing hard.
Chasing Willem staying down.
Now see there, left hand again, and the left wheel gets light. So
It's front wheel drive versus rear wheel drive effects.
yeah. So which is certainly does come into play, and as you said, it might be just the bias that they need to adjust. Possibly how stiff the front is versus the rear. You can move the weight around in this car depending on the suspension setup. I grew up in Formula V's, and you've got such a big fat spring that runs left to right across the car. I think it's like a Z-bar configuration, and you would either tighten or loosen it depending how hard or how stiff or how loose you wanted the car to be. And in wet weather, I knew that you loosened it completely, because then you didn't want any suspension to keep the car stiff. You wanted it actually to roll, as it were, with the way that you were turning.
Brandon's certainly not making any headways as fast as I thought he would against Willem. Willem's doing great to defend his position here.
Yeah, and Willem being in the rear-wheel drive car, he's certainly going well. Paddock Hill bend. This time he actually took the corner nice and narrow. The guys that got the wheel to light up were the ones that drifted out wide. But as you said, that Willem seems to be defending now, but it's a car length or so between them, and it seems to be holding just that, as it's those two left-handers that I was talking about. They now have to contend with. One of them a little bit more than a hairpin. That doesn't seem to have a name. The short straight between the two left-handers is the Cooper Straight and then Surtees. Then it's the long straight, which includes Pilgrim, Hawthorne Hill, and then Hawthorne is the first right-hander of a sequence of right-handers before they get to the next left-hander, which is Sterling. Right, and a bit of curb through the drop.
What's happening
All right,
up in
Anders.
the field as well while we're watching this? I'm just keeping an eye on the battle. It looks like Yonder Dupinot has passed Peter Murray for the final podium position.
And so that's a change up right till the end. He seems to be hanging out so long that I think he's given up the line. No, he takes it back again as they come through that last corner going into the front straight. Infinity just likes that wide line as they get along, but it's going to be a little bit closer now. Number 412, Brandon Robert, he's holding on that position. She takes it now. He's still there up his inside. There's a nudge, and he actually nudges him again. And then I think, rubbing is racing, but I think in this case he'll have to give up the corner because 412, Brandon Robert, has gotten past him, and he's using the track and more, trying to catch up back to Brandon. But Brandon just now about 2 car lengths away. Oh, there's somebody ahead of them. Was
That's
that
Deeb. I think he's
Deeb,
a
yeah.
lap car.
Yeah, so I think he was trying to get out of the way. He's so to his own bad luck. Maybe just got the corner wrong. Sometimes you just have a lapse of concentration, and even though you're doing the right thing, you go about it wrongly. Now there's the replay, and we see he got out of the corner actually pointing in the wrong direction, and the wheels off the track, and they don't grip when they're on the grass.
Just quickly doing a scan to see who else is close. No, we have a very close battle brewing between Jason Underwood and Richard Cilliers. And just in front of them we have Donnie Stunder, so this could be a nice 3-way battle with 4 minutes left to go.
Right, so interesting racing that we do see from Richard Cilliers, number 101. Just to find Donnie on my list. Sometimes it's difficult to scan through your list very quickly. But the racing that they have in front of them, and those 3 cars, as you see, they're very, very close indeed. Car number 2,
Jason and the Infinity, those tyres are coming good. So,
yeah.
driver that finished 2nd place in race 1.
Right, these 3 are really at
Oh, that's close.
You're trying to attack. Richard is trying to attack the car in front of him, but he's got to defend the car behind him. But that really makes for an interesting strategy as to what you're going to do through a corner.
This is, I think, helping Donny out. These two are fighting. It's giving Donny just a little bit of extra hope of keeping the position. Very close to the headlights shining on the car in front.
Because one of these flying ants would have been squashed between these two cars.
Yes.
That's how close they got in the corner. And as you said, it looks as though that green car in the front just having a car length or two while these two scrap it out behind.
So this is going to be a good drive.
Leading up to the straight again. See who takes what line as they get to the end of the straight, because that's always where it's interesting. If you take the wider line, it looks as though the right hand rear wheel smokes up a little bit and you lose a bit of grip, but everybody got through there quite cleanly. Oh, there's a dive up inside if I've ever seen one.
Nice and clean though, late but clean.
Very late braking, a block pass if it was to be a motorcycle, because he really just took the position and there was no way that they could get back, and he takes the next position as well. So 2 positions within 2 corners or thereabouts, and it's the one that loses out 2-4-3, and where he was well placed. Now all of a sudden he finds that he's being attacked by, is that Richard Sillier?
It is, yes, we're on board.
The man from Nam.
How this battle unfolds, a minute and a half to go.
Don't know. I'll get to see where they are on the circuit now. If they're going to complete this one and one more, I should imagine.
Yes.
Yeah. That's Dingle-Dell, then it's right. Then the next one should be the 90 left, which is Sterling's. There it is.
So we'll finish this and then we'll have the final lap.
Yeah. There they go into the set of right-handers, which is clearways, and out of clearways the clock curve, and then the finish straight with 1 lap to go. Let's see if you can get a slipstream down the front straight on the brakes early, which is to his demise because he gets up on the inside and passes, and it's a flying pass as well, even though it's just the painted circuit. He's not onto the gravel, so certainly a good run by Richard Sillier. Makes the pass on that first corner at a Kill Bend. Another left-handers. Then it's the Cooper Straight. Another left-hander, which is Surtees. Car number 2 going well, Jason Underwood. It's as though he's got some breathing space between himself and the next car behind him. Can't see anybody.
Catch the car ahead, but the car ahead looked like it made a little bit of a mistake, which is Peter Murray. The gap halved, but I think he's gathered himself again and he should be good to protect his position, which is 6th place until the end of the race.
Peter Murray, number 420, for those of you following him. Then again, that being said, it looks like the gap has come down considerably.
Yes,
Has Peter got a problem? It's going to be because it was, we were talking, I don't think there's going to be any.
this is the final corner as well, so it's now or never for Jason. Is he going to dive up the inside here? Peter might have tire problems, so he might understand.
Clearways, if we can just hold on one more corner
This is going to be
and
close.
have the grip to exit.
He's just going to hold on to it.
Yeah, by a car length.
That's fantastic. We haven't even been watching that the leader has crossed the line, so Chris Collison has taken the win. Perhaps I can just show Chris, he has taken the win from Jean-Andre Dutoy and Jean-Andre Dippenor.
I think Jean-Andre wasn't, with the championship already won, he wasn't going to take any chances and he would settle for second.
Just sort of going through the drivers as they're crossing the lines. Brandon, I think he's finished already. He might actually still be on a lap.
4 and 2 is Brandon, as you said. I think he must have gone over by now because they were in that nice battle earlier on.
Okay, now the race is finished. So obviously we were actually still racing. So there we go. Chris takes the checkered flag.
Okay, so we were 1 lap or we were so in tune with the race leader that he still had quite a large portion of the lap to complete.
And Jean de Tour coming across the line, that will make him our champion. And we're dipping on directly behind him, so they slow down a lot there.
My teammates, does one team take first, second, and third in this race? In this specific race? And
The way the championship works, only the top 2 drivers of a team will take points.
Okay.
So they have finished their race.
Everybody's slowing down nicely. Who did we have to ask why that car went into the pits?
That was Julian. I see a few guys at DNFs. Julian was one of them, so maybe he had damage or maybe he had some issue that he had to just pit for. Sometimes the guys have mechanical issues with their hardware, wheel that doesn't want to work or a headset that doesn't want to work. Alright, we're going to jump to an ad break.
And have
When we
donuts.
come back, we'll get hold of our top 3 drivers as well as our champion. We'll be back shortly.
Right.
All right, welcome back, everybody. I have the wrong graphic showing up there. Apologies for that. It is round 8, not round 7. But that is the end of round 8. That is the end of the championship, all completed now. So we're going to head off to our interviews for now. So we will be joined tonight. I've spelled it wrong, so apologies there. But Jandre de Toy taking first place for the round. Jandre Dippenaar second place for the round, and Jason Underwood third place for the round overall. Perhaps, Sean, would you like to start the interviews?
Thanks very much, Dennis, and good evening to you all. Nice. I actually just made this race in time. But certainly an interesting circuit that, from what I could see, but one that's unforgiving, I should imagine, to the left-hand tyres. So who will I start with? Jandre, let me start with you. What was your tyre wear remaining in the 2 races on the left-hand side specifically?
Yeah, on the first race I ended with about 26%.
Oh, that's plenty.
Yeah, so it wasn't that bad, but I tried to preserve the tires because I knew that Infinity was on my arse and it's going to come in the last 10 minutes.
Yeah, so Jason, your tyre wear?
My tyre wear wasn't too bad, actually. It's just trying to keep the Infinity as straight as possible and no, harsh turnings. But yeah, I had 40% on my front left. So it's not too bad, the Infinity, really. It's just we're lacking straight line speed. That second sector's killing us compared to the Toyotas. But yeah, it wasn't too bad overall.
And then I'll get back to you, Jason, with another question. Jandre, how did you find tyre wear? It looks as though everybody else had it as a breeze, not as close as we've had some races where you get into 10%.
Yeah, the tires were bad. I was the first race down to 16, the second race down to 8. I don't know why last night we practiced and we did 20 minutes with those tires and we only used about 60% of them. So I don't know what happened tonight. Maybe we were over eager or something like that.
Yeah. Then back to you, Jason, just a question. We noticed that on turn 1, which is Paddock Hill Bend, which seems it's a right-hander, but it seems to crest and then drop. Does the right rear tyre actually get light? Because we saw some of the cars that were actually smoking, and then because there's no grip on that tyre, actually drifting wider on the corner than they would have liked.
Yeah, so what I've found with Infinity, it's better to late apex on there, just to try and prevent the right rear from coming up, and also give you a better drive coming down Paddock Hill. So it wasn't too much of an issue, but I did notice some of the Toyotas in front, if they cut the corner too straight, the turning angle was too much, and that would raise the right rear. So,
Okay.
I mean, I've raced around there quite a bit, so it's just obviously track knowledge.
Yeah. So it wasn't our imagination. So what you're saying, for you, it worked better to slow in and faster out.
100% correct. I was very lucky. I was pretty good under the brakes, but I could also keep that momentum going slower in, but I would get a very good drive coming out. Maybe that's just the rear wheel drive, but yeah, it was nice. It was a fun corner, that.
Yes. No, we did notice that some of the cars that actually did lift the right rear actually drifted off the corner and then lost a lot of speed, obviously, trying to get back onto the track. But other than that, from Hawthorns, Westfield, Dingledale, and Sheen Curve, right hand with a little bit of circuit undulation, in other words, change of elevation, before you get to the first left-hander again, which is Sterling's, which is a 90 degrees. How did you find that, Jandre?
Yeah, the left-hand corner was quite nice and fast. Every time I got that corner right, the other 3 was touch and go. If you just turn a bit too late or too early, you're going outside. It happened to me in the first race. Yeah, but it was not too bad. It could have been better.
Yeah, Jandre, I think looking at those, 1, 2, 3, 4 right-handers, they're actually quite fast. They're more sweeps than what they are corners. So you've got to have them absolutely smooth. Jandre?
Is that for me?
Yes.
Oh, Yeah.
Yeah, no, the right-hand corners, they struggled a lot when you reach about halfway in the race. But the left-hand corners, you could pretty much take them the same the whole time. So, but those right-hand corners, they just got slower and slower with every lap.
That's a question that I didn't ask actually. How much tyre wear was left on the right hand side of the car?
I had about, I think, 40% race one.
Okay, because there aren't that many right-handers, but an interesting circuit to race, I'm sure, but certainly for us as commentators, it was actually nice. It's a circuit that I got used to quite quickly, what to expect next, and a very fun race to commentate on. Back to you, Dennis.
All right, well then perhaps now is a good time to jump over to crown our champion, which of course, in this instance, is Jean-Louis du Toit. So Jean-Louis du Toit, you are the 2022 British Touring Car Champion of the Sim Experience Alwin British Touring Car Championship. So congratulations. You can perhaps give us a rundown of the championship.
Yeah, no, thank you very much, Dennis. I'm glad I can finally get a little trophy next to my name. But no, yeah, it was fun. I enjoyed these cars a lot. Maybe a bit too much because now all the other cars just feel lazy and no force feedback and nothing. So I think I enjoyed this way too much. And no, the championship was really close, especially when Basil was still in. So it would have been an interesting battle if he didn't pull out. But yeah, overall, I'm glad I won. And it was a fun race.
Yeah, between yourself and Basil, you guys are really sort of giving it to each other at the beginning. But Basil just had a slight edge on you, and just as you were starting to sort of get the hang of it and challenge Basil, then Basil had left. So yeah, it would have been a great battle towards the end, I'm sure. Just regarding the championship, you finished the championship first on 245 points. In second place, Yandre Dippenaar on 167. In third place, Richard Cilliers on 124. And Basil still manages to take away fourth place in the championship of 123. So still a solid position for Basil, even though he missed so many of the rounds. And then regarding the team championship, we have PZN Panel Beaters taking first from Team ECGT and Team Harder Racing taking third. So good top three teams there. Those are the guys that have been doing the most, I guess. Team Harder is the one that's lost out a little bit, but Team ECG came strong towards the end there, so managing to steal second place from Team Harder Racing. So a good end to the end of the championship. So from here we're going to now head off to our BMW Season 2 championship. So I'm just going to head back to the other group here and just remove that overlay so we can actually see what I have there, if I can get it right. So we'll now be going into Season 2 of the BMW Cup. Of course, Jason, you are the defending champion, so you'll be now running the number 1 plate. So perhaps we could start with you heading into Season 2 of the Cup. What are you expecting from Season 2?
I think Season 2 will be a lot different than Season 1, Dennis. We see what type of competition there's going around now, you know, with Yandre. But yeah, it's going to be tough. You know, you start a new season fresh you start from zero, so it's nice to have the golden number 1 on the side of the car, but it doesn't mean that you're going to keep it. So start from fresh, hard work starts now. But yeah, looking very much forward to it. Chris and I are going to give it absolute beans. So yeah, it's going to be fun, and we welcome everybody. Hopefully we can get some full grids like last season too.
All right, I'm just going to drag some of the other drivers in for a chat here. So at the moment, just dragging in Brandon. So, evening, Brandon. Welcome to the live chat. We're just busy chatting now. We're talking about the BMW Cup. Just had a word with Jason. Now we're going to just ask you. You said you were keen to come chat. So you've now changed. Well, the team has changed from ECGT to Top Tech IT. So perhaps you could give us a bit of a rundown between yourself and the team and what you're expecting from the upcoming championship.
Well, it's going to be a challenge for most of the team members because we're all coming from the front wheel drive, of course. We're all struggling a little bit with the BM, but we've all taken the practice and gone on server with all the different guys to practice riding with them. So we're all coming to grips slowly but surely with the BM. We are actually hoping to come out the door guns blazing, hopefully. We just need to get that practice in so that we can at least be a nice contender there for Janneman who is blitzvernach in that BMW. So we're looking forward to try chase after him inside there.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a good battle between Yonder and Jason, because Jason's also had some epic pace. He was super fast at Kyle Army the other night, so I think it's going to be good. He's our defending champion, so he knows how to drive these cars very fast. So I think it's going to be excellent. Yonder, you've looked like you've been struggling a bit. You've been about a second off the pace, but I'm sure once you get over the car not being front-wheel drive and you get to grips with it, you'll start to show your pace as well.
Yeah, I need to practice a bit more and get in tune with that car, because I couldn't get the feel on it. It just feels numb. But yeah, I need to put in the time and see if I can keep up with the guys in front.
All right, then let's see if perhaps Oulton is available to chat. I'm going to drag him in. I'm not sure if he's chatting to anyone. Let's just see if Oulton is available to join us. So Oulton, good evening. You are live.
Good evening, Dennis. How are you? Good
Good,
evening,
thank you.
everybody.
We were just chatting about the upcoming BMW Cup. So perhaps you could give us a little bit of information about your team and what you're expecting to happen in the current championship, because you're also looking like you're starting to enjoy the BMs quite a lot.
Yes, definitely. We've got some exciting news. A couple of new sponsors have come on board with us, Lyft in general, and then also one of our teammates, Tian, with his company has come on. We've also done a name change for the BMW M2 Cup, and he's going to change from Team ECGT to Team Top Tech IT.
Okay, and tell us a little bit about Top Tech IT then.
So Top Tech IT, it's pretty much IT everything gaming related, gaming PCs, accessories, just a hobby I'm pretty much doing on the sideline.
Okay, that sounds pretty good, especially since that's what we are driving at the moment. So yeah, perhaps you can help out with some of the drivers.
No, 100%. I think that's what inspired the whole thing with Top Tech IT, was the sim racing and focusing around the sim racing community.
All right, well, thank you for that. I'm going to drop yourself and Brandon back on the other channel, and if you could just let the guys know, I'm going to pull Julian over and Monet over, and perhaps Rudy, if they're available, just to also just come have a quick word.
All right, 100%.
Right, and while are we waiting for them to come back to us, perhaps, Yonder, you could also give us a little bit of information about PZ and Panel Beaters. PZ and Panel Beaters have been quite heavily involved in this as well for the last couple of seasons now. So tell us a bit about PZ and Panel Beaters. What do you do? Obviously, you do panel beating, but who are PZ and Panel Beaters?
It's a family-owned business. It's been around for 30 years. I think it might be in the top 5 in Namibia. Yeah, so we do our best. We are customer-centered friends.
Yeah, that's fantastic, and you definitely got that sort of vibe with our community, and you're definitely putting a lot into the community. So thank you for everything you've brought to our community.
Pleasure.
It's such a small world. Many years ago, just after leaving the Defence Force in Windhoek, I actually lived in Windhoek. I did motor vehicle assessing for a small company called Van Hilton Edwards and Company. And I don't know who's around still of Jannie Smit, Windhoek Vinyl Tops, Godino Bodyworks. This is just now reminiscing me back hometown days.
Sean Godino is just across the street from us. It's still operating. Uncle Jannie Smit, he closed his body shop. He sold it to Dick Cornelissen, and he's doing a small come in and go out jobs during the day.
And Percy Rabe around the corner?
The old man is dead.
My goodness.
Yeah, but his son took over, so they are still on the way.
Small world. So just where you are then must be very close to where we were once for medium workshops when I was in the Defence Force. Was the old SWA Auto House, the dealership building.
Yeah, that's about 600 meters from me.
Yeah, and axles and gearboxes, they still going across the road?
They're not across the road anymore. They went to Southern Industrial, but yes, they are still going.
Oh, nice to talk to somebody that knows my hometown. Where I was born, but that's where I went to school most of my life and was raised until the last 3 years. And I did the Defence Force as well.
Okay.
Okay, then also in the channel we now have Monet du Toy, as well as a couple others. We'll start with Monet. Monet, congratulations on your championship. Great championship there, and you also had some good pace in this championship. Perhaps you can give us a bit of a rundown on how your championship's been, how you felt, and how you're feeling going into the BMWs. Or are you taking part in the BMWs?
Yeah, I'm gonna take part in the BM. I struggled a little bit with the BM to get my pace, but the Corolla was actually fine. But seems like the last 3 races I struggled with the Corolla. I don't know why.
Yeah, you seem to be pretty decent in race 2 tonight, but obviously not as fast as your son. Your son came past you and just sort of pulled away from you. So some of the rounds you've had very, very comparable pace, but definitely seem to have lost a little bit of your pace.
So I don't know. Maybe it's the kind of track. I don't know. The blind grace is catching me out. I think so.
Yeah, could be. All right, I'm going to just drop you out. So thank you for chatting. Just thought I'd do a quick chat with the drivers that are available.
Thank Dennis.
Nice, man.
And then we have Julian Bryce. Julian, you've
My surname's actually Brains, Dennis.
Brains.
I don't know
I
if
always say
it's
Brains. Okay,
B-R-U-Y-N-S, yeah.
okay. Sorry.
But I like
Lost the
being...
N. We've lost the N somewhere.
You've lost the N. Yeah, you lost the N.
Yeah, I always
It was
tend to call you Bryant because originally I would say it without the N, and then you corrected me that there's an N in there, but I've just kept the same pronunciation and just added an N rather than changing how I pronounce it. So apologies for that.
No worries. It's at the end of the season, the perfect time to let you know what the real deal is.
We're basically just having a chat with some of our drivers now, so perhaps you can just give us a rundown on your championship. Tell us what you're thinking, expecting going into the M2 season 2, and also tell us a little bit about yourself and High Revolution.
Well, this championship has been a big learning experience for me. It's my introduction to some experience, and I've really taken and enjoyed the racing here, the community as well as the good clean racing for the most part. And I've learned a lot. I've just come across the R Factor 2. I was racing other sims before. Since you've helped me get it all going, it's been fantastic. So I think the BMW Cup's going to be fantastic. Lots of entries, lots of excitement, and High Revolution. We're just trying to obviously bolster this channel and trying to help where we can. Use our expertise to add to it. And sorry about being late with my stream this evening, and that's I think what threw my 2 races off completely this evening. I was a bit late. It's a lot of PT to get it all set up, obviously. So lots of fun ahead, and thanks again, Dennis, and thanks to everybody that participated. Well done to Janderman and all the guys that did well this evening, as usual.
All right, well, thanks, Julian. I'm going to drop you out as well and then do the final guy, who's Rudy. Hopefully Rudy's available to chat.
Yes.
So Rudy, you've also looks like missed a few of the races, but you were back tonight and seem to have a fairly strong race. Race 2, you seem to be a lot stronger. Give us your opinions on how the championship's gone. You seem to have enjoyed these front-wheel drive cars. Are you going to be driving the BMWs? Will you be joining us for those as well?
I will be joining you guys with the BMWs. I struggle a bit with rear-wheel drive, but I'm going to give it a go. We had a practice race a while back. I think it was last week or the week before. And I did okay on the one track, the other track not so well. Yeah, sim racing is something totally different. I used to race stock cars before. Yeah, so it's a big learning curve. And we take it one race at a time.
Yeah, at least you're trying and you can only learn. So that no matter where you are, even if you come stone last, there's always something to learn. Even if you're winning, there's always something to learn. So
yeah, for me, it doesn't matter if in front, in the back, or the middle. I always try to finish and try to enjoy it. And mistakes will be made. And that's it.
Just out of interest, Rudy, where did you do stock cars?
Walvis Bay and in Windhoek.
Okay, at the Tony Rust track. What track at Tony Rust?
Yeah, they used to have, but not anymore.
Okay.
But the tire only did for a year.
Okay, interesting.
all right, well, thank you, Rudy. I'm going to drop you into the next channel. Thank you for chatting with us.
All right, thank you very much, and thanks for all the effort you guys put in.
It's a pleasure. And then we have Yandre and Jandre left out of our top 3. So perhaps we can just get some shout outs from you guys. Let's start with Yandre.
Yes, thank you, Dennis, for all your effort that you guys put in. Thanks to the team for all the effort that they put in, and thanks to Sim Experience and the community for their effort and making it possible to join every race so that we can have a race.
It's a pleasure. I'm going to say goodbye to you, drop you out as well. So thank you very much.
Bye.
And Jandre, obviously as the champion, I'm heading to you last, but congratulations again on your championship. I'm going to just put that back on screen so that we all aware that you are the 2022 champion. So congratulations once again, and any shout outs from your side?
Yeah, no, thank you very much, Dennis. I really enjoyed this championship. Thanks to you guys and the sponsors for organizing this, and thanks to the team for bringing me in and welcoming me with open arms and helping out when I struggled, because I'm actually quite new to sim racing. I only started, I think, February this year, so they helped a lot, and yeah, thanks to everyone who participated.
Yeah, it's good going considering you've only been doing it for a couple of months, really, like 6 or 7 months. So yeah, excellent going. So I'm sure you'll be a force to be reckoned with once you understand how to drive those BMs.
Yeah, I hope so.
And other rear-wheel drives.
Yeah.
All right, thanks very much. I'm going to drop you out, and then Sean and I are going to say our good nights.
Okay, thanks, guys.
Cheers, Andre. All right, so it's just Sean and I. I'm going to go back into the interview room where we had the BMW logo up. So, of course, that is now the end of our British Touring Car Championship. We will be heading into the BMW 2022 Season 2 Cup. That should be in a week and a half's time, or 2 weeks' time, basically. So we will have a 1 week break and then head into the Cup. Unfortunately, if there's load shedding, it'll be delayed, but that is the plan. Should we have power, should Eskom permit us to do what we like to do. But other than that, Sean, it's been fantastic having you with us, and hopefully you'll be joining us for the BMW Cup.
I'll definitely make an effort to look at my phone and or my laptop sort of at 6 o'clock on a Sunday evening and not get a message as I walk into the house. But yeah, it's been a lot of fun, actually. As I said before, I never imagined when I actually did circuit commentary that I'd be doing sim commentary, but it's much more convenient. You're in the luxury of your own home and you watch the guys giving it everything. And certainly you can hear from them that some of them sounded a bit tired after the last 2 races. And I can imagine that and you meet people from all around the world. We've raced, I think, one of the competitors from the UK, 2 of the competitors from Namibia, guys from Cape Town, guys from up in Gauteng, and certainly yourself still in Cape Town, I think, Dennis.
Yes.
So for me, it's been a lot of fun, just the whole concept, getting my mind around the concept that, but at the end of the day, whether you're looking out of a glass window in a commentary booth at a circuit, or whether you're looking at a glass screen in front of you, the principle of commentary remains the same. And as long as I'm having fun, then why the hell not?
Yes, I guess that's the main thing if you're having fun. But all right, then let's call it quits for this season. So thank you again, and it's been a fantastic championship, and I think Jandre is a very, very worthy champion. Even though Basil was possibly going to give him a good fight all the way to the end, he, I think, does deserve a title extremely well, and we'll see him in the BMW Cup, as well as Jason Underwood, who will be our defending champion, running the number 1 plate, so that should be quite good. He's been really, really fast in our practice races and servers that we've seen, so it should be a close championship. We've already got, I think, 27 or 28 guys signed up with skins created, so we should have good numbers as well. So I think it's going to be an exciting championship. It's going to be very different. They're going to be all used to the touring cars now, going into that, going to have to adapt, but they've got 2 weeks to get used to it again. So hopefully that all goes good and strong, and we have another solid championship.
Yeah, certainly we do. So it's actually started raining here, which we're very happy about. And I've got to go and sort out the dogs which don't like the thunder. So I'm going to say a quick good night.
All right, thanks, Sean. And I will say good night to you then as well, and catch you in 2 weeks' time.
Eskom permitting, 2 weeks' time.
Perfect. Thanks, Sean. Cheers.
Thanks, Dennis. Cheers.
All right, that's Sean now gone, so that's now just myself left here, and I will then catch you all in 2 weeks' time. So thank you once again to Alwin Automotive Glass for making everything possible, and of course to all our drivers that have made everything possible. And there's many of our drivers who've also contributed and given donations and helped out with technical things, helped other drivers out or helped set things up. So thank you to all our community members, and thank you of course to all our viewers. So thank you to everyone watching, and remember, if you like what you're watching, to hit the like and subscribe button. And until the next race, we will catch you in 2 weeks' time for the BMW Cup. But if ESCOM permits, we might still start the Radical Cup at some point on a Wednesday. So if there's a Wednesday where we have power, we will then be doing Radical Cup. Until then, have a good evening, have a good week, and we will catch you then. So goodbye.